Hey yo, I'm Mint Salad. Wait, I'm Tits. Oops, wrong intro. I'm Tits.
Hey, hey everyone, I'm Areolas, Lorenzo.
And what we watched Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. First of all, Lorenzo, I've never seen this
hmm
movie before. When did you first see this movie?
not a long time ago, a couple years back, it was on Netflix.
Ooh.
Just decided to watch it because I do like the anime, just like the TV show Lupin the Third.
Oh, there's a
It's
TV
like
show.
a yeah, there's like a serial anime, and he does the same thing he does in this movie. He steals like a Robin Hood type character,
Alright.
gives to the poor, and then is always being chased by that inspector
The
dude
Popo.
Zenigata.
Pretty
Mhm.
much the
Mhm.
Popo. I
Always.
I honestly wasn't really expecting anything out of this movie when I first went into it. Like I no exposure. I was
Uh
like,
huh.
look at the name. I'm like, this sounds cool. It sounds medieval. Was my first
Mhm.
impression. Um, but like turning this on, I'm like, oh, this is an anime. I didn't know you're into the animes, Lorenzo.
I like a bit of the animes because I do have a 12-year-old niece, and
Ooh,
they have that phase where all they want to do is watch anime, and I have to watch them too because a lot of them look innocent, but they are very dirty. You know what I
ooh.
mean?
Those are the best ones. I
Yeah.
never had an anime phase, Lorenzo. I only had a SpongeBob phase and then a Steven Universe phase and then a Club Penguin phase. Those are all the phases that I've had during my childhood. Anime, not. I never experienced it.
My niece had a Steven Universe phase. That was a good show. It was like
Yeah,
woke before things were woke, I guess.
man, we gotta do an episode on. I have so many thoughts about the shows. Like, I should do. Is there a movie? A Steven Universe movie?
I think there is a movie. It's like a musical movie.
Oh
Uh
no. No.
but
No.
Steven
I mean, the
Universe had a
music
lot
was
of
fine in that.
yeah, it had a lot of musical elements to it.
There's no music in this movie, which is fine.
There is none. This is a from 1979, directed by Hayao Miyazaki,
Hayao
which
Miyazaki also
this
did
is his
Spirited Away
this is
and
his
Howl's Moving
directorial
Castle.
debut. hmm
Ooh.
And Ponyo.
Oh. It's just a bunch of
Ham.
Studio Ghibli films, right?
Ham.
Ham?
Ham.
What
That's
is
my
ham?
impression of Ponyo.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Ponyo's always like Sasuke, Ham,
I've never seen
Sasuke.
that. I've only seen
It's cute.
Spirited Away. I've done a review on it. I've seen a tiny bit of Howl's Moving Castle, but then I stopped because I was what I got busy. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't finish
That's
it.
good too.
Yeah.
Kiki's Delivery Service is good too.
Ooh.
I think he does that one. Kiki's Delivery Service.
What does
But
Kiki
yeah, this
deliver?
one, she's a witch and she just like
Okay.
does different deliveries,
All
like on
right.
her
I've always
broomstick.
needed to know that. The title confused me.
and so this one is based off the manga, I guess that's what they call it. Lupin
The
the Third,
mango?
which the manga, the
Yeah.
manga, the manga, the
Mango.
backwards books, where
The backwards book, the correct way to read actually.
I don't know.
You like reading from right to left? Ugh, that's so
Yeah,
American.
I know. I am very standard English. But yeah, it starts with Lupin and his buddy Jigen stealing from a casino a bunch of money, but it's all funny money. It's not.
It's all funny. That's a good way to describe that. All
Yeah,
counterfeit money.
it's
The
all
the
counterfeit money.
when there was a line in there that said like they were even they were it was such good counterfeit money that they were able to fool the government, and but they like
Mhm.
stole that money from a casino, which
Mhm.
is depending on like which property, like it's like Native American land, which is separate from federal land, if I remember correctly. I was no
Well,
history buff.
in Vegas, you could have casinos everywhere. It's legal. And Louisiana, you could have a casino, I think, as long as you're on like a boat in the river.
What? You can have a casino when you're in a boat in Louisiana?
Yeah, there's like
Why is
no
nobody
laws.
making why are there no boat casinos that I've heard of? Like big popular ones.
I'm pretty sure that, well, not big popular ones, because that area's not very kind to outsiders, but I'm pretty sure they,
Louisiana?
yeah, it's
Uh,
very what's the word? Backwoods.
backwoods. Well, I just man, I don't know much about money or casinos or anything. So, but I do find how they accidentally like figure out, like they stumble into, oh, this is a whole counterfeiting thing. Looks like we have to get into the bottom of this. Like, why? Let's just play detective. Let's do a little Columbo. Oh, one more thing about one more thing. Okay. Oh, they didn't do any of that, which kind of disappointed me. But it's all right. It's all right. So it wasn't a
Didn't
Columbo
do what?
reference.
Didn't do what?
Didn't do the Columbo. Have you never seen Columbo?
I know of Columbo. I don't think I've ever seen Columbo.
So, Columbo, just to quickly explain this, Columbo, whenever he's like investigating, because he's usually like suspects that the person is the murderer, like pretty much immediately, but he's like trying to like be nice to them. He's like acting dumb. He's like, he's like fumbling around. So he's like, kind of like get it so the person will lower their defenses and like tell them stuff, and then eventually, like, he'll be like, yeah, you're the murderer. Um, there's a little particular thing that he does, like, he would leave the room and then he would come back and he's like, "One more thing I forgot to add." And, like, pretty he does this a lot in
Uh-huh.
Columbo. And then it's
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, one more thing, boom, bam, evidence. You're the
Yeah.
murderer," something like that.
The smoking gun, he
The
hits you with
smoking
it
gun.
right there. What
So,
what year is Columbo that you're talking about? Isn't it like
like, it's
a
I
80s show?
forget which year in the 1960s.
Oh, it's a 60s show.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a '60s show.
Okay. No, I've
So go
heard of
check it
it.
out.
I've just never watched it, but I know of its existence.
I do recommend it. It's very good. But this ain't no Columbo. But
Mm-mm.
the art is very endearing. Um, man, I absolutely love the vivid colors in this. First thing that I noticed while watching this movie was how vivid everything is, and all the art to it. I know that you've mentioned in the past that you don't like um look for design things as like keenly as I do. If correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're telling the truth. I'm not very good at drawing, so that I can't really what's the word, like I can't look at it and tell you like, oh, that's good or that's
Analyze it.
beauty. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
feel like I'm allowed to in that aspect because I
r-
just am not good at drawing at all.
right. I
Yeah.
understand that. A lot of what I noticed, like definitely during explosion scenes, there's a heavy use of purple and yellow, which is uh great. Um, using a purple as a shadow and the yellow as the highlight. First of all, great complementary color choice. It's very obvious to choose these because like everything else is either like red and green or blue and orange. There's not a lot of like yellow and purple in this movie otherwise, except for like
Hmm.
the explosion scenes. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
I did not notice that. I did notice that there were explosions, like smoke
Yeah.
bombs or different times because Lupin likes to get out of the sticky situations
Yeah,
when he
exactly.
can. Yeah, but I didn't notice that the colors of them then that were created by it. I just know it's animated very well.
Yeah,
Like,
it is so fluid. I feel
yeah.
like while I'm watching this movie, all the characters are very personable. Like I could be friends with these dudes. Like the wolf, for example. The way that he speaks and the way that he's animated, like slash like he carries himself, like I can he's just so distinct in my mind. Like because he has a lot of personality. Are there any characters that stuck out to you in your mind?
I think like all of them. I feel like all of them do, because they
Yeah.
all like have personality. You have Lupin, who's the disguise. He disguises himself, and then he's also the ringleader. You have Jigen, who can shoot any weapon. You have Goemon, who has the sharpest blade known to
Yeah.
man, apparently, and then Fujiko, who's just like a double agent slash flirty with Lupin slash doing her own thing too. So it's
Exactly.
yeah, they all like kind of have their own reasons to do things, and I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah, their
That's
own
why I
like
love.
character motivations.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
then the fact that they're all like quote unquote friends or whatever, they work together. They
Yeah.
all complement each other so well.
Exactly. I agree with you on that point. I also do like how quick this like starts up, and it's such an easy watch. So pretty much like immediately after Wolf uh discovers the counterfeit, uh he encounters the next like chick. Well, he encounters the chick that he's going to follow the entire time. Like trying to saving her,
Hmm.
but she's in a forced marriage that she doesn't want to be part of, which I have a lot of empathy for. What's is that the word? Like I feel bad for her. I'm sad
Yeah,
that
yeah.
she's
You can
in that
understand it.
situation. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um personally, uh what do you think of the I'm going to call him the bride because he's trying to marry the princess. What do you think of him? I think he's a little bit over the top. I think he needs to chill.
I like that though, that he's like this cunning, evil, overconfident dude, because
Mm.
he's never met someone like Lupin, and I love how overconfident Lupin is too.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he can never get caught or anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's just like, "Oh, I got this.
yeah.
I can climb this wall. I can scale this building." And it makes me think he's like Spider-Man in that sense.
And yeah, he saves the princess who was trying to escape, but then she ends up getting recaptured, and then Lupin makes it his mission to try and break her out of there. At the same time, look for those counterfeit bills, because there's a legend of the counterfeit bills being made in that castle.
It's like, why have so many counterfeit bills? Of course, the obvious answer is to spend money that you don't have. But like while watching this movie, I was just like thinking, well, how much power, how much reach does this guy have if he has a printing like a printing money pretty much that no one can detect is fake? Then like hypothetically, there could be like billions of dollars out there that's just counterfeit that no one knows about and it's just being rotated, and then there's probably some schmuck out there that has a counterfeit like $100 bill or something, right?
Well, think about our own government, how we're in the hole billions of dollars, and then hey, let's pull 100 million out of our ass and give it to Ukraine, or 100 million and give it over here. They're basically printing their own money too, and it's not even fake money. They're just when we're in,
Yeah.
like, not to get political, but it's like that's I kind of what they're doing here is they're printing this funny money to fund nations for wars all through certain time periods, and help
Yeah.
people win the war. Just kind of like what's going on right now with Ukraine.
Yeah, I don't really know much about all that stuff personally. All I do know is that money is fake. Like just as an object. It's not real. However, it's
Yeah.
very representative of an idea. Um it's like I think flooding a market with counterfeit stuff. Like money is I see money as like a representation of time that you've spent working to earn that dollar. It's time. It's
Mhm.
the representation of time because it's just like a physical representation of literal time that you cannot otherwise manifest like into
Mhm.
existence,
Mhm.
unless you build something using that time or like have the money to represent that. So like
Mhm.
it just seems so disingenuous to uh be able to create time is essentially what this guy is doing because money equals time, so
Yeah.
creating time. Now we have an inflation of time in the market, and it's like, well, where did all this time slash money go, I mean, come from? And then it's like, oh, it's devaluing the other people's time because you're adding more time to the pool. Then like each individual time is just like less worth less now, which
Mhm.
sucks. I can't imagine the villagers living during that time having everything increase in price because of how much money is in the pool now, and having to work more slash spend more time making a dollar, or less, I guess, like spend more time to get the same value of the dollar when it was worth that amount before the market was flooded with the money. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah, it sucks
Yeah.
that some people out there are legit working the amount of time that equals a certain amount of money in our world, but then there are other people who are just creating it,
Yeah.
like out of basically pulling it out of their ass, and it's there you go. They just have that time now, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I
but
honestly
as
I
far as
feel
like
bad for
the
everyone in the universe. What were you about to
have you
say?
ever seen that movie or heard of that movie where time is like a currency?
Yes. Which one is that?
Yeah.
What
It's
is that
like with
called?
Justin Timberlake and man, who
Actu
else? You know what
I
I'm
might
talking
have
about,
seen
right?
that movie. I don't remember what it's called. I do know
Yeah.
exactly what concept you're talking about. You can exchange like time between people, but I don't remember if I've seen the movie or seen like a scene from the movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing like scenes like on TikTok of it, and
Hmm.
where time is currency and you earn it or you can wager it or give it away or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're basically ticking away your life. But I don't understand that concept because like, do you age? Like, I feel like you would see yourself aging if you were reaching zero, you know?
Yeah, or if you like added time to your life, then like you would
Mhm.
somehow get younger if you were like 50 years old and then you bought like 20 years. Oh, well, does that make you 50 or does that like make you regress in age and make you like 30 years old?
Yeah. Or if I was to like cut your legs off, would you just be there legless but still have all that time and life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You have to
It
live
doesn't
without
make
legs.
it I get the idea, but it just doesn't make sense. But in the real world, like you're saying, money is pretty equivalent to time, and it's kind of shitty when someone can just print their own money and devalue someone else's work
Right.
when they put in the hours. So I know that
Exactly.
feeling. But yeah, I guess so Lupin the Third, he
Yep.
this decides to like bring in that Inspector Zenigata that's after him to
Yeah.
kind of help him unknowingly help him uh find out the that this is a huge counterfeit market.
Yeah,
Uh,
just like try to get more into depth on what is happening here. Like
mhm,
I would want an inspector guy to be like, "Come here, can you look at this?" And this is while being chased by the popo.
mhm,
A
mhm.
popo coming for you. He chasing after you. No matter if you're trying to do a good thing, no matter if you're trying to uncover scammy counterfeit business. Nope. Let's just who cares about that? You committed a crime. I mean, that makes sense. Of course, you're going to go after the guy because you committed a crime, but oh, it just so happened that he stole counterfeit, and so he's going to go after that. But you're still going to go after the guy for stealing. Um, Although if he stole counterfeit money and he was able to, well, he does get rid of the empire pretty much of the counterfeit. He's still being chased after.
Yeah, because he's still a criminal. He's like Zenigata's arch nemesis.
He doesn't get forgiven. I think he should get
Yeah.
forgiven of all of his crimes before now and after. I think he should because he uncovered this pr- m- possibly multi-million, multi-billion dollar counterfeit scheme.
And then he's also trying to save the girl that I don't know how she's questionably young.
She's young. Well, the first time that they meet is actually he accidentally stumbles into like the garden that she's living at, and she's like 9. She's explicitly 9, and then like before this point, I was like, oh, they're like love interests, and then like seeing this age, I'm like, oh no, this is like a. Well, my first thought was Anakin and Padme, but they actually ended up marrying together. That's not a good comparison. Um, it's more like Big Brother, which is eventually what he says the love is for her is like a Big Brother love.
Mhm.
Um, she hasn't seen that. It's made me a little uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, and yeah, I could understand that because he
Yeah,
basically saved her life, but she saved his life 10 years before when he thought he could rob the place when he was younger and cockier,
yeah.
and he ended up getting nearly killed, but she nursed him back to health, and he
She
was
very
very thankful
nice.
of that. Yeah, for a
She a
young
very
girl,
nice person. What'd you
Mhm.
say?
She's very nice. So, well,
Y-
I mean, and then for her to be young and just go up to a dude and like, "Oh,
yeah.
here's a whatever." What did she give him, like, water or soup or
Yeah, it was
something?
like water, food. I'm not sure if it was shelter, but he pretty much left before like she could really do like give him shelter. I guess I don't know how long. It's not really explicitly stated how long he stays there. I personally would like to know every single detail about the dates, how long each person spent there. I felt like if this movie specified more of like the time scale in which it operated on, like I think it might maybe take place in a day. Is this taking place in all one day, or is this taking place over multiple days? That's honestly something I'm interested in.
I feel like it's multiple days because at first he's there with the gunslinger casing the joint, and then
Yeah.
what's his name shows up, Goemon with his blade, and then yeah, his
Yeah.
sharpest blade, and he's kind of there chilling, he's all bored, you could tell. And
Yeah.
then when he finally whenever him and Zenigata and Fujiko escape, and that's when he
Yeah.
gets shot, Lupin, he
Yeah.
gets shot and gets like mortally wounded, and
Mm.
they have to nurse him back to health with some old man and a dog, and you don't know it, but that dog belonged to the princess. That's why she
Yeah.
knows. That's
You know
why it
what?
knows Lupin. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't mean to like interrupt you. Well, I do mean to interrupt you. Okay. Here's a funny here when I saw the dog's name was Carl with a K. My first thought was, uh, Carl is one of my favorite dogs. And I said that out loud. Yeah, exactly.
do
Ba-dum-ching.
you do you have any pets like at your
I used to. I mean,
residence?
I don't have any dogs now. I will get a dog if like, but I will only get a dog if I have the amount of time to properly train it. Because I refuse to raise a dog that just is loud, obnoxious, rude dog. I have had many dogs in the past, like family dogs.
Mhm.
Um, like I have a few that I would never be able to train. So like I kind of I try to train it, but like I wouldn't be near it as much often as I wanted to properly train it. But like so those dogs wouldn't be as good as I want a dog to be. But you know those dogs are nice and cute. I just want a properly trained dog. All these dogs have some sort of behavior issue that I've dealt with in the past. It's just annoying.
Do
Um,
did you I don't know what you named your dogs, but like I don't like the idea of giving a dog a human name, like how
I
this
don't
one's name is
either.
Carl. I
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, like the
I feel
dogs
like
names that I've
they
had
should
in the
be named
past.
like Sparky
Mm,
uh or Boner, like
Boner's a good
dog
name for a
names.
dog.
Yeah,
So
dog names.
I've had dogs in like names like Buddy,
Mm.
Willie,
Mm.
Annie. Like
Yeah.
those are literal three names. I think one of them is a penis joke. Like a Willie. I don't know. Like what was my brother named that dog?
Uh-huh. I
But I
just
actually got to train the last dog because I was forced to. My parents went on a trip to Mexico for 2.5 weeks right after they got this dog fresh from the pet store, and so I had to potty train it. Yes, mwah, amazing. There's a little quick story there. So
Mexico.
I like
Mexico.
even like I agree with you. Human names for dogs is questionable.
Mhm.
I am a hypocrite though, because I in order to name Annie, the last dog, my dog, parents' dog, I don't own this dog. I was working at McDonald's at the time. I went to my manager's whose name was Anna, and I asked her what I should name the dog, and she said Anna, and so I typed in Anna, sent it back to my family. I'm gonna name the dog Anna. I pawned it off to somebody else who has a human name, who named herself as a dog name, but they changed it. Um, Transformative, but still a human name. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't wanna name a dog after myself. Like,
I wouldn't either.
I don't know, like, that's kinda strange. I don't think it's insulting, it's just not, typical, But like I just said, prefer names like Sparky, you know, Light,
Sonic.
yeah, dog names,
Dog
not
names.
real human names.
What do you think of Max as a dog name? Do you think
That's
it's more of a
that's
dog name or a human name?
I think it's more of a dog name. Max, that'd
Alright.
be weird to name your kid Max or Kip.
There's a lot of kids
I
named Max.
and it sounds like a dog name, Kip.
It broke out. Oh no. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, my brother had a friend named Kip,
Oh.
and that sounds like a dog name,
That
Kip.
sounds like kibble. That's too close to kibble.
I don't know, like, why you would stare at your newborn child and be like, "I'll name him Kip," while he's there
Like
crying
this
with
is
the
like
cord.
skipper. That's literally removing like three letters from the like skipper. It's like you're a fishing man. That's like what I imagine a kip would be, a fisherman.
Yeah, yeah, or like a construction worker. I don't know. Like, these are names that are for dogs, not for humans that get passed on generation to generation. Dogs don't live that long.
No, they live like 12 years max. Maybe
Yeah,
like the world records is like it's like maybe 20, I think 26 maybe is like it's a dog in Australia has a world record.
I might have
Um
seen that. He looks
yeah,
miserable though.
it seems like living in pain for a long time sounds I don't like that. It doesn't sound pleasant. It seems like the dog would be in
No,
constant pain at some point.
there's a reason we milk has an expiration date. Like
It's true.
there's a
That's
certain point.
exactly. You know what's also fun though? Total
Hmm.
uh the amount of assassins in this movie. Like, did you see how many
Oh
assassins
yeah,
that guy had? Like, oh, I'm gonna do a little marry to the princess, and in order to keep her for myself, I'm gonna send out many assassins. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, you really want to wife somebody who clearly doesn't like you? Aren't you worried that she's going to poison you in your sleep one day? I feel like
that
isn't that
is
like a
possible.
legitimate concern? Like if someone doesn't like you and you're
Mm-hmm.
forcing them to marry you, that's just she either is going to be like weak and like passive for a very long time, or maybe she's planning something. Like I wouldn't trust her. What do you think, Lorenzo? Would you trust somebody
No.
you forced to marry?
Now that you're mentioning that, no, you're absolutely right. I would worry that she would try to murder me in various ways, whether it be
Yeah.
poisoning my food or just you're sleeping and you just wake up with your throat cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
stab him in the back. There's so
Or
many
you're
ways to do a little murder to somebody you don't
or
like.
you're on or you're asleep and then you smell gasoline and suddenly you're on fire. Like
It's
that's it.
true.
That's all it takes.
There's a lot of ways. You know what's interesting though? This movie has the most, I think, it's so creative with like the running scenes in this. There's a lot of running scenes because uh, Lupin's constantly running.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
before I forget, I watched the English dub because that's all they had that I could find um, on streaming sites, and they called Lupin Wolf the entire
Did they?
time.
That's
Yeah, they
weird.
called him Wolf.
That's weird.
And I think it's because
Uh,
Lupus equals wolf. I understand the connection. It's just called Wolf the entire time. Um, and I didn't quite catch that until you started calling him Lupin. I was like, why am I calling him Wolf? So Wolf Lupin is
mhm.
running constantly. There's when he's running into the clock tower and he's running on those gears.
Mhm.
Wow, the animation is great. What do you think of that? What did you think of him running on the gears?
I thought of there's a Castlevania level. I know that's what I thought of Castlevania where you're jumping on gears trying to
Was that a video
dodge.
game with the
Yeah.
little knights and
You
guys, the little knight guys, colored?
he's like a vampire hunter and you're trying to kill Dracula,
Oh wait, that's an I'm thinking about something else. Oops.
but that's what it
There's a
reminded me
video
of.
game? I thought it was an anime.
Castlevania? It's
Yeah,
both.
it's
It's both.
both.
Yeah, they
Okay.
just made a anime for Netflix that supposedly was really good.
Hmm.
But that I thought of the game because you're jumping on gears and stuff, and it looked good. Like there's so much going on, a lot of moving, and then they finally get to the top, and they know where to put these two rings that bring together light and dark or whatever.
Well, it represents the it's like the light it's so the sun and the dark of like both families, and if you combine them, then it shows this message, and then you put these rings on and like there's a clock that has like on the very top, like near like the 12 o'clock position, there's a there's like a goat or whatever, put the eye
Mhm.
rings in there, but then the magic prize that you get for putting the eyes in the goat eye holes is that you
Mhm.
get crushed to death by these hands. And I want to mention how many brutal deaths there are. No gore, which I appreciate. However, there's
Mhm.
like a lot of like implied deaths. Like there's a couple of assassins that get crushed by gears.
Mhm.
There's parts where Lupin is almost crushed by a gear, and I feel anxious for him. And I'm just looking at all these guys doing a little casual jump from gear to gear, and I'm like, how does this not hurt your feet? Like you're jumping onto metal from a
Yeah,
high distance, from
doing some
from high.
parkour all over the fucking clock, and no, yeah, how you said, there's a lot of off-screen, like, deaths, like,
Yeah,
it goes off of it right there. I think the most we might have saw was when he got shot, there was, like, a little bit of blood,
yeah.
Lupin, but
There's not
that's
a
it.
ton of blood, which I appreciate in this movie a
Yeah.
lot.
Considering all the gunfire and sword play you have in this, and then, at the end, yeah, when the guy, what's his name, the count gets his comeuppance and gets squished by the arms, which I thought
Yeah,
I mean, it's satisfying, but then it's also stupid. Like, why would you stand in between both the arms? Why wouldn't you just jump off into the water? Like, I'd rather risk it that way.
that's true. It's like, how long does it take for? I mean, it shows exactly how long it took for the arms to get to the position that it did. Maybe you didn't quite realize what was happening. I just have like
Yeah.
umbrance with like like I can see the arms thing being like a self defense thing, but like hypothetically, only the people of the family would know what the two putting the two rings together, uh, two family rings together, provide a message. Pretty much the only person that would really previously have access to the message is the family. So you want to like if a family wants to go get the gold, the heirs to the throne, all the whatever it's called, wealth and fortune and stuff,
Mhm.
they have to sacrifice their life in order to do so. And like
Well,
the freaking treasure is just it's just a city.
yeah. Yeah, it's just a buried underwater Roman city that now everyone can enjoy, and I
Yeah.
mean, I guess that's better than the than, "Oh, it was love," or the adventure, there's actually some sort of value to it, I
I
guess.
honestly thought it was gonna be like a dragon's den full of gold coins and jewels. That was my thought. And then seeing this, I'm like, oh, we get a flooded city. What are they going to do with a flooded city? Like, what would the princess do? Like, the princess is like, oh, well, actually, I don't want to adhere to my kingdom. No, I want to go off and become a thief. I'm like, no, just stop doing that. You have to take care of your Roman city that you've now uncovered. What will you do with it? Will you preserve it as like a museum piece, or will you make it like a tourist trap? What do you think she should do?
I mean, she sounds like she's well off already,
Yeah,
so she doesn't really need, to make it into like a Disneyland or any sort of attraction, so I
that's true.
imagine it would just be opened up to the city, especially now that that count guy's dead. Uh, the bad people are giving up. I think there was a point whenever he died that his butler was like, "Oh, go ahead and kill me," and Goemon was like, "I don't kill anyone that doesn't deserve to be killed," or some
Right.
shit. He
That was a
says
pretty
something like
hardcore
that.
line.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Um Man, the ending is pretty sweet. Like it's sweet in the way that I don't think I've seen Lupin show a lot of like emotion towards anyone. Like he's an obvious show of brothership towards his thieving compadres.
Mhm.
Uh, but like when it comes to like developing more and more on the relationship between he and the princess, I'm noticing like the more that he is obsessed with the princess, the more he's like showing love, compassion. But then he like also just loves his life. So I think he's just like he's generally a loving guy. It's kind of hard to tell actually where he stands exactly at the beginning, but it is very clear to tell where he stands at the very end of the movie in terms of
Mhm.
like uh his position on loving people and the relationships.
Yeah, because you thought he was just kinda going after that ass, and
Yeah.
then, it turns out, no, he's just, returning, like, a favor that she helped him, so he wants to help her, and he kinda wants to you could tell, like, the way he's making it, though, over dramatic, like, "Oh, your thief is here to save you, and
Yeah.
you don't have to worry anymore," like, he's putting on a show for her almost,
I
like,
think it's like
to
it's like a performance piece. It's like a humoring. It's very humoring. I think it has a great sense of humor too.
yeah, and then he's giving her faith because I guess she's been trapped for so long, like, she really thinks
Right.
she's not gonna be rescued. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, and then he runs away, saying goodbye, and then the Zenigata's like, "He stole the most precious thing. What's that? Your heart, my lady," or some bullshit like that.
That was fun. I was not expecting that. And it was like, wee woo, we gotta go get him, pew pew. And then he just rides off into the distance, being chased by the popo. And oh
Uh-huh.
my goodness, the background shots in this movie is so beautiful, especially the very end where they're just departing and having a nice little loving touch up of a movie. Oh my goodness. The mountain ranges, the color work on it is so great. We have the greens, we have the blues, we got the purple in the shadows, we got the yellow in the highlights. Perfect. That's just one what is it called? Instead it's not scene, but what's in the scene? Oh fuck, I forgot what it's called. Man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
What?
Um Panel, maybe? No, that's a comic book thing.
Like a cell?
Shot. Shot. That's
Oh,
what it's
okay.
called.
Okay.
That's just one shot that I'm describing. There's a
Mhm.
lot of different shots that are just so beautiful, including like
Mhm.
when they're crashing the plane. That shot was just like beautiful because they got you got the whole like plane being red on intentionally on purpose because the grass is green and you gotta have a complimentary, but I also gotta have an explosion. And then you got to do analogous colors for the explosion because that's what the color of an explosion is. And then, I just love the art in this movie a lot. I bet you
No,
can
I'm glad.
probably tell.
It was great, and there was a lot of, car chasing scenes, which I think are beautifully done too, like,
Yeah,
pretty much the same as, like, I guess, the running scenes, but it's cool, like, to see, these cars are kinda acting how real cars would, I guess, I don't know, like,
yeah,
it's done really well, like, you could tell they really, worked overtime on this shit, and for it to be out from 1979 or whatever, like, I don't know.
yeah. It's like it looks like something like that could be produced pretty easily today, relatively to how he did it, to how the methods that he did it. Like digitally, this could be done. Um, But it's the fact that it's the specific way that the line art looks. Um, I don't think you could like replicate digitally this the little nuances because of there's like some of the line art looks a little it's hard as it's like smudgy is the closest way I could describe it. It's like not necessarily the cleanest sharpest lines. Like
Mhm.
the pen that he's using. He's not like using like a point and then and it's like, oh, it's just one line with there's some feathering to the lines of the line art, and it's like I don't know what it is specifically, but I see this in like animations that are older and use um instead of digital, they use the traditional method of animation, and it's always the line art is different. You can tell by the line art and by the coloring, like you might get coloring outside of the lines, like in a for example, an old Scooby Doo, because of
Mhm.
like how it is colored, like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
the process of coloring is, you
And,
know?
so yeah, of course, and I know you're, I figured the animation would go really well with you. What do you think
Yeah.
of the story? Just the story, like, minus the animation, do you think the story was pretty good?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty endearing. Like, um, I felt that like Lupin just got his big lucky break when like to I'm going to investigate this thing because I was committing a crime and I accidentally discovered other people committing a crime. And so I thought that as a propelling point for the plot was like very interesting, like a very interesting idea, and I wanted to learn more about it. And then also involving the
Mhm,
princess wanting to be involved with like the princess's future and making sure that she's not just marrying a guy who's just wants to use her. And then like I felt that was endearing. There's just so many I felt like this was very character motivated plot versus like oh I gotta do this thing, I gotta do this thing, I gotta do this thing. Like I felt like this movie with all the decisions that all the characters are making, there is like a through line, like okay I can see why they're making this decision, and it like leads into the next thing in the movie, which I felt the writing
mhm,
was it was very well paced and well done. Um, it also
mhm,
it kind of was, like, quaint, very quaint, wasn't too deep, wasn't hard to understand. It was actually it's digestible. It's digestible as a story, and it's pretty, like I'd say it's pretty open and shut, like, he figures out the counterfeit scam, he uncovers them, and, he's
mhm.
able to get make sure that the bad guy has the rings and actually ends up uncovering the treasure, which he did not mean to do, really. But I just
And then
enjoyed it.
he
It was very enjoyable.
yeah, and then he kinda rides off into the sunset like, "Ah, you gotta come catch me," and
Yeah,
continued adventures,
yeah, it's
like
just open and shut. It's just a quaint little
yeah,
story, and I like that.
yeah. No, I really like and just, watching the regular anime, for me, I really like it. It's pretty much the same as the movie.
Hmm.
He's like that Robin Hood character. I think I remember seeing an episode where he, robs from a bank and he ends up, like, tearing the sack open, it's a bunch of teddy bears, and they fall
Hmm.
into a bunch of orphans' arms or something, so,
Oh, that's
like, he's
weird.
always doing Robin Hood type shit, like, uh, almost getting caught, but then being one step ahead of
Right.
that, inspector. Yeah.
Yeah,
But, no,
that's
I thought this
interesting.
movie was great.
Yeah, I thought so too. Very enjoyable movie. Um, personally, I think I would rate this movie like a solid 8. Yeah, solid 8 out of 10. What do you think, Lorenzo?
I think I'd give it a 10 just
A
because
ten?
I've watched it over and over again, and I could, like, see myself leaving it on. Uh,
Okay.
like,
S
you know what I mean? Like, putting it
Yeah, I know
on
what
and
you
watching
mean.
it over. Yeah, it doesn't get, like, tiring, and then it has, like, adult themes, but it doesn't do go very adult other than the occasional bastard or uh not very much blood, so I could
Yeah.
actually let my niece like watch this, and it's
Yeah.
not like your boring ass Disney Sleeping Beauty. That's to me boring,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
I
Or
definitely agree
Snow
with you
White.
there. I
Yeah.
also like I would point I would say that this movie is a great stepping off point into like learning more about adulthood if you're watching this as a youngin, because like it does cover stuff like oh well, the Cagliostros um have an immense amount of power over these people because they're being paid in counterfeit and they don't want to necessarily discover it. When the guy goes to all those dudes in that courtroom, um that scene, I was like,
Mhm.
this is pretty adult for this film. That's what I was thinking. Well, I appreciated it though. Heavily appreciated.
Yeah, and then for its time too, like I said, it's an old pretty old movie. It's not like what did it say? What did I say? 79, right? So that's
78.
pretty. Yeah, 78, 79. It's pretty
Yeah.
old, like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
like it's almost as old as my biological mother. So, yeah, that's fun
That's
fact.
there's a math problem for anyone out there. Uh, so
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
glad we
should
do
also
that.
mention before
Uh-huh.
before you continue, when you said you like to leave this movie on, I feel like I'm not the type of person to leave just like a movie on running. Like I feel like I have to analyze it, um, and then like maybe I'll watch a movie again if I really like it. I wouldn't necessarily. I would watch this movie again, um, but I think, like, when it comes to replayability, music's more of my thing when it comes to playing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
like how like let's say like when I would babysit my niece, they like having a movie on, to watch over and over again.
At least it's not
Uh
fucking Frozen, okay?
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually do really love Frozen though.
You
I
like
do.
I
Like
thought Frozen was pretty I thought it was good, but I think it was overhyped by children.
I I think it was good. Yeah, you're right. I never saw the sequel,
I haven't
but
either.
yeah, I agree with you. I think it was good, but it wasn't that good where you should like fucking make theme park rides out of it and shit. Like yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
story. It's a good twist.
exactly.
And at least they're not lesbians, or maybe they are now. I don't know. I haven't seen the recent
In
one.
your imagination, they could be, or in fan fiction if you
I'm
wanna push that out.
I'm sure there's a lot of whatever you call it, hentai on the Frozen. I'm
Yes.
pretty damn sure. I
I
actually
can
kind
I
of
can
know that for
confirm
a
this
fact.
100%,
Yeah, I
with
can
personal
confirm it too.
experience. I've accidentally encountered some hentai of Frozen. It's not fun memories, okay?
It's not hard to stumble upon it though. It really isn't. Like it's
Not
like
really.
2 or 3 yeah, it's like 2 or 3 clicks and you're like, "Oh shit. What am I in?" Uh
Exactly.
It's really not that hard. But we're going to play a game and I call it where the waifus are.
Where the
But I think
waifus are? Ooh,
yeah, I was trying to go on where the wild things are, but where the waifus are. But
how do we
essentially
play this game?
this game, I'm just gonna show you a waifu. I'm gonna show you her name. You know what a waifu is, right?
Yeah, I know what a waifu is.
Yeah.
I've seen lots of gamer boys pray to waifus.
I knew a guy when I worked at a grocery store in seafood,
Yeah.
and he legitimately had a waifu. Like he got a cake made for her
Ooh, a
for his
cake?
waifu. Yeah,
Did
like
he
a
have, like, a
physical
plush
cake.
waifu, and then he made a cake for the waifu?
I think his waifu is like a computer program. Like,
Oh, that's,
you know what I mean?
interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But he legit like
Hmm.
celebrated her birthday and got a cake made for her, like happy birthday to whatever her name was. So,
Happy birthday, waifu. I created you in 2002. How old does that make you? That makes you to 21. Yeah,
I
happy
would hope
birthday.
she's of age at
Yeah,
least.
hopefully.
Yeah,
She
I
can
would
drink
hope
now.
so. Now we can get married. Um,
What you have to do if you have a waifu, you have to name your alcohol brand after her. You have to. Like, even if you
my
create an alcohol, you have to.
I don't
I
see
don't make the
is that
rules.
does that go hand in hand, like, having a waifu and then, uh
Alcohol?
yeah, making an alcohol brand?
Yes. 100%. Uh, I've observed. I've been near all the breweries around town, and I take a little peek behind the fence, and I'm like, "Ooh, what you got there going?" They're wheelbarrowing the oats that they put in the beer machine, but while they do that, they have a little plushie stuffed in their back pocket that's just waiting to be pet in between in the break times, in between all the working. I've seen
Mm.
that. Just personal observation.
Yeah, I've seen people in with fox ears and foxtails
Yeah.
around, or
I've seen a lot of that actually.
out in the
I've
wild,
seen,
yeah.
like I don't I when I see, like, a tail in public, I'm like, "Is that a butt plug that you're sporting? Or is that, like, a tie-on is that a tie-on tail?" I get
Yeah, I don't
scared.
know. I don't think it's a butt plug. That'd be something I hopefully they would hide, and not, like, have, sticking out at all, but
Yeah.
who knows? I don't know this world anymore. I feel like everyone just kinda wears their, sexualness on their sleeve, like,
Mm.
literally, you know?
Yeah.
But this game, so I looked up, and there's a lot of top 10, top 20, top 60, top 80, top 100 list of anime waifus.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you an anime waifu, and you tell me out of this top 100 list what number she is. And I have like 6 or 7 of them, I think. So all you
Hmm.
gotta do is just tell me what number you think she is. I will tell you the number and then tell you a little bit about her, and you could tell me any story about her that you think before I reveal where she's from.
Okay, so you're gonna tell me the name of the waifu, or what's I
I'm gonna
got
show
confused.
you. I'm gonna show you her face and her name, and you tell me what number she is out of 100. Uh,
Alright.
and then I can tell
Alright,
you
let's make
more
this a
about
speed
her
round.
character.
I wanna see how
Okay, let me
fast I can
see.
go. This
So
chick.
here is, yeah, Nino Nakano. What number out of 100 do you think she is?
I think she's probably 38.
Okay, so she's ranked number 27
Oh,
on the top 100 list. She's from the anime The Quintessential Quintuplets. She's age 18. She's
huh.
human, and she's a popular girl that gets along with everyone due to her great social skills.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think honestly it's because of the blue the black and blue things in her hair exclusively.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
She's cute.
I didn't
I mean,
even.
she has red hair,
Yeah,
but also she has a little bit of thing in her hair, which makes her stand out.
I was more about, yeah, the hair. It's not red. It's like, is it red or is it like a pink, red, salmon?
It's a salmon. It's a salmon
Yeah,
color. Salmon has like salmon has more of an orange in it. So it's like a red pink.
yeah, you're right. This
This
is
chick.
Alice Nakiri. What does she rank out of 100?
I'm gonna guess she's bland as fuck. Probably like 72.
Okay, apparently she ranks 18 out of
Why?
the
What the
100.
fuck is the appeal of this character?
She is from an anime called Food Wars. She
Mm.
is a human. Alice is an intelligent girl and a talented chef. Since she's a member of the Nakari family, Alice acts high
Okay.
and mighty, especially when she is challenging somebody, but at the same time, she doesn't hold herself back from making new friends and talking to her comrades and even rivals.
Ooh. Well,
Yeah.
I want to see her in action. I want to see why everyone fucking loves this chick. Oh, she
Yeah.
makes good food. Well, show me.
18's pretty good.
That is
Let's see.
yes, that is.
Oh, speaking of 18, here's Android 18 from Dragon Ball.
Oh, I could
What do you think
see it
she
in the art
ranks?
style. Um,
1 out of 100. What do you think she ranks?
Dragon Ball is
Android 18.
very popular. I'm gonna guess a 6.
Dude, you hit it on the nail. She is number 6.
Ooh, nice.
She's number 6. She
She's
has
not
no
like
age.
visually distinct enough for like to be like number 1, but she's Dragon Ball. A lot of fucking people have seen Dragon Ball, you know?
Mhm. And she is pretty hot because she does they do wish her to become human. She's like an android.
Yeah.
They do wish her to become human, and then she gets with Krillin. They have a kid,
Hmm.
and she's got a body, and her. It's funny how her name's 18, and that's like the legal age.
Yeah, it is funny. It's weird how that works.
Yeah. Okay. Next one.
Ah,
I
she's from an Ava.
the Evangeline. Her name Asuka Langley Souryu. I'm butchering that probably. What do you think she ranks from 1 to 100?
Ah, Ava is very popular. 12?
She ranks 83.
Oh, come
And again,
on. And
this
fucking
is an
people got their
opinion.
priorities wrong.
I know this is an opinion. Remember this list. I don't know
Yeah.
who made it, but then also her age is 14.
Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot that. Well, okay. Never mind. I can understand.
Yeah, so I could see why maybe she wouldn't be at the top.
Yeah.
Uh, because 14. I mean, they just changed the legal age in Japan, right?
I
To
don't know.
17. It was 13, and they just
I don't know anything about Japan.
Alright. Yeah. Why why would you know that? That is you know they changed the legal age. I don't know. Why do I need to know that? Yeah.
What else we got, Lorenzo? Let's see.
Okay.
Corona?
Perona.
Huh, she looks cool. What is she from?
She is from One Piece.
Oh, I've never seen One Piece. I know One Piece is popular. She looks pretty visually distinct. I'm gonna go with a 5.
She is 39.
Oh,
She is age 25, a cute girl who's obsessed with cute things. She acts childish all the time, and she gets annoyed and triggered for the stupidest thing. She's
hmm.
hard-headed and doesn't do what she's supposed to do. So she's like a ditzy character, I guess.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Uh,
Who's
this
this
is
chick?
Toru Honda
She's named
from the
after a car.
from
39.
the anime Fruit Baskets.
I've never seen that. Um, mm, 39.
She is actually number 1.
Why?
She's 17 years old, human. She's extremely kind and big-hearted person who never fails to help those who need her. She is
Alright, I can
pure
see
and
why.
humble and believes everyone has some good in them and never sees herself as a superior person.
She's just a genuinely good person, and people like that. I can understand that.
This is Kirari
Momobami?
Momobami
Hmm.
from the anime is Kakeguria. Re.
I have no 79. I don't know what that I've never heard of this anime. This chick looks I don't like her. I mean, I
You don't
kind
like
of
it?
like it. I don't like the
She gives
braids.
she gives me Persona vibes, but she is ranked 96 out of
Oh, that
100.
makes sense.
Yeah, 96. She is
Alright, what
aged
else?
18, so
8?
she's a little
Okay.
yeah, she's a little old for some people.
Mm.
18. Let's
Big
see.
tits!
This is Juvia Lock. She has
What'd you
no age.
Oh.
Uh What that? Why does she have no age? Is she like a?
She's a vampire. That's why.
Yeah, maybe. It says she's human, but she has no age. What do you think she
Uh,
ranks 1 out of 100?
55.
She ranks 13.
Oh, I don't know who this chick is.
I don't either. I think it's the tits though and the eyes. I
Yeah, that
like the
makes sense.
eyes.
The eyes are cute. What
Yeah.
else we got?
That's it. That
That's
was
it.
the yeah, that was the last of the waifus.
The
Guessing
last
the
of the
numbers.
waifus. That was
Yep,
a
you're
fun
the
waifu game.
uh, have you ever heard of Honey Pop?
No, I've never have.
If you ever look up Honey Pop on Steam, it's a game that's like a puzzle game with waifus, but it has actual like porn in it. Like it's a
Oh,
game. It's a game, and I helped fund it on Kickstarter. I remember
whew.
giving like $20 to it.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's a very dirty game, but it's like a puzzle game where you try to it's like a dating sim puzzle game, but it gets dirty where you can have sexual scenes with them.
That's cool. That sounds cooler than any other dating sim ever, except for the pigeon dating sim.
You're right. You're right. I
Yeah,
forget. There's a lot of dating sims out there.
yeah.
Pigeons
They're
aren't
all
real.
lame.
Pigeons are robots made by the government. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Yes.
You've seen a baby pigeon?
Yeah.
Oh
They're
shit,
small as
never
fuck.
mind. I think we could end on that note. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Tits and Areolas. My name is Lorenzo. You can find me at That's All Funny podcast everywhere podcasts are. You can check out the YouTube channel if you're already here, youtube.com/at Lorenzo Arreola, and support me on my Patreon, patreon.com/Lorenzo Arreola Mint. Where can they find you?
I do daily movie reviews 7 p.m. ET every night. Mint Salad saw over on youtube.com/ASC presents. You can also help support the daily grindiness of all those daily movie reviews by going to my spicy sites at my linktree, linktr.ee/Titsman Salad. I also do streams on Fansly primarily. I'm taking a break this week. I know I'm dating this episode. This week, but next week starting up again. There'll be a stream this Saturday. But for the rest of the week, I'm taking the streams off just because I gotta get caught up with movie reviews, which I'm doing a lot of. Uh, I'm currently at like 348 daily movie reviews in a row. So there's
Really?
that. And if you want to request me to review your favorite movie, you can do that for $20. Patreon.com/ASC presents.
She's worth it, folks. And if you think you doubt going to those spicy sites, she's got a very nice body. I've seen it on the Twitter. It's waifuable. You could waifu up mint salad.
Twitter.com/autistic boobs.
She can be your waifu. And what else was I gonna say? Oh, did you find your son yet? Have you found your son?
I have not found my son. I have not found my son in my Fallout 4 playthroughs. I'm pretty sure he's dead, but we'll see.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible mother.
I just fucked around spending time with the Minutemen instead of going directly for my son. Oh well.
Oh, thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you next week. Take care and bye.
Bye.